Hello, everyone. I know it's been a few weeks now since we all got together, and I know we've been meeting in subgroups and individually, so which is good. Quite happy to report that we made some progress with all the work with some putting together some objectives and all that. So. I don't know, Bree, if you've had a chance to read through the document. It's not very, nicely put together except for the Astor's part, but we just wanted to get some data out there, and probably we'll go over that a little bit. Do you want to just, so the agenda for today is basically, sorry, I sent you the list, Bree. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me now. Do you want to just kind of touch on it?
Oh, the agenda. So the first thing is going over the milestones document and deliverables for the 15th, tomorrow. Checking in with folks who are not part of the subgroups to see if they have any other information to share. Going over the working group or work group document prepared by the subgroups and the objective ideas listed. Discuss organization of various documents and location for storing them. And then next meeting in January and touching on the milestones for that.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, Liz, I think you had the document handy yesterday about the actually milestones thing. Can maybe you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure.
So that,
Yeah. Do you want me to share my screen? You want to?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. I can figure out how to share my screen. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, good. So we pretty much, I think, met our goals. Bree, chime in if you think we didn't, but at least for November 15th, we had lots of brainstorming, came up with some ideas, defined our terms a bit. And then, so for this milestone, we needed to come up with a list of problems and opportunities, and we've started to do that. So we do have a list that we have started, and I don't know, I think I saw Kayla or Bree working on it today a little bit. And so I think in this meeting, we just kind of want to agree upon them. I think that's what our goal is today, correct? Mm-hmm. So I will have this document up, and towards the end of the meeting, we'll talk about what we need to do for the next milestone. Is that good? Lakshmi, do you want to say anything else about it?
No, I'm just want to say that first of all, thanks for everyone who contributed towards this, and it's given the lack of all the data on source waste, where it's coming from and all. I think the whole team did a great job, rallying around some of the objectives. So I think it's great. Thank you. And before we go into the documents, there's actually multiple documents on this. I wanted to give others a chance to kind of just maybe share anything that you may like to see in going into the source reduction. I mean, people who weren't able to be part of the subgroups thought maybe I'd like to hear from you guys and just see if anything in the last month or two that you might have had on the top of your mind towards source reduction. Uh, Esther, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, the milestone, I couldn't read everything, but I think as a group, we need to read it. I mean, we need to receive it and read it and comment it. If the teamwork is important, we need to go through that. If not, how do we help? And then also we want our work also to be critical and other people's to read it. And then to read it and discuss. And then we write all the milestones, whatever the objectives are, under the category of this, under the category of this, under the category. This is what we decide. If not, I'm in limbo. I don't know how I can help even now, because I want somebody to critique my work. I want see others people to see, because we want to give the best of us. Everybody bring something, the best of them. And that best bring the greatest best to present it to Nevada DEP. So I have worked intergovernmental, non-governmental, working in projects like this. I think that is, I saw it is so productive, and we can harness each individual's thinking process and experience. If not, it just, we don't know what's going on. If I made a mistake, I mean, if I didn't understand things, let me know that too, okay? Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Astra, for that. I agree. So as far as the milestones, I mean, that's pretty much where we are. And, you're right on the mark. I mean, now we're at a time where we've gathered the ideas and put it into documents, and we're like looking for other people's feedback. So like today is one of the first meetings to kind of go over that. So, I mean, as of now, by December 15th, we were supposed to produce some kind of objectives list. And I know we're probably fairly ahead, aren't we, Brianna? So.
Yeah, you got my email from earlier this morning, right? Where I took kind of your guys' notes and wrote the objectives around the themes. Do you want me to share that with the group, or to kind of get everybody on the same page? Or I don't know if you wanted to go forward with those objectives.
Yeah, I think what you put together is good. I think that, so those are more high level, but we do also have, quite a long list of the objectives and strategies that we probably saw. So they probably, I think you summarized it really well. So what I'd like to do is, since everybody is here today, to go over the longer list and probably arrive at the same place that you have in your summarized list. So let's maybe take a look at that. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. And just to point out, these objectives are supposed to be higher level. So I know, like in the that one document you sent me a few weeks ago, where you talked about transitioning to sustainable packaging, and you had a bunch of ideas, and just kind of grouping those, like those ideas you're looking at are actually the things that'll meet the January milestone, those more specific strategies and tactics. So the overall objectives, we're looking at, okay, which specific waste streams does this group want to look at? So you guys identified, single-use plastics, packaging, hazardous waste were like the three main ones I saw from the documents. There may be more documents I didn't see that we should probably pull up, and so everybody's just on the same page, and you can walk through those. But yeah, basically these objectives are just higher level. So like if you want to focus on packaging and making it more sustainable, the objective would essentially be, decrease the amount of packaging generated in Nevada and sent to the landfill. It's something as simple as that. And then as you guys move forward with the strategies and tactics, those are going to be very specific and what you guys have started to talk about already. So I don't want you guys to overthink this too much, because the real thinking is going to come with the tactics and strategies, and you guys have already started on that, which is fine. I just want everyone to kind of agree on these are the objectives we're focusing on until, March, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. I think we all were, so full of ideas that, yeah, you're right. We probably went ahead a little bit more than was required by December 15th, but that's okay.
So Lakshmi, if I might interject, maybe we should just go over the really high level ones and then start to drill down. So, because I think we're missing a few pieces, a few high level objectives, and that's construction waste. I can't remember what our other subgroups are, but we've only really done work on 3 of the subgroups, it seems to me. So maybe if we go over the high level ones that Bree can pull up, and then see what's missing, and then if we then we can drill down into how we broke out some of the more of the work that we've done with strategies and tactics. That kind of makes sense to me. If it doesn't, that's fine. We can go the opposite way.
I don't know. I think it's a great suggestion. Thank you. Yeah, then Bree, want to just bring it up?
Yep. Give me a second. All right. So I have my notes. Is there a specific document you want me to pull up? The source reduction one, my notes, Lakshmi?
But you had some kind of put the objectives in this morning's meeting. I think that's the one I think Liz is alluding to. Yeah.
Okay. So these 3 objectives here came from Lakshmi, the document you sent me from the plastics and single-use stuff. So like talking about, you wrote about decreasing the use of single-use water bottles, so the water bottle refill stations, reuse of reusable water bottles in, casinos, airports, those ideas. I grouped them under decrease the amount of single-use plastic waste generated in Nevada and sent to the landfill. And so when you guys move forward, those strategies you talked about in those documents can live under that objective. And then you talked about transitioning to more sustainable packaging, which I think would fall under, decrease the amount of packaging waste. That falls into that source reduction theme. And you talked about potential bans, policies, EPRs, incentives. That was in that document. So those ideas would live under that objective. And the wording of this can change. I'm just trying to get the general idea. And then you talked about the knowledge gaps, data gaps, and all of that can live under that objective. And then Liz, I read some of the hazardous waste stuff you put into the Google Drive, talking about decreasing hazardous waste generated in Nevada, and then closing data gaps with regards to hazardous waste with the generators and households. Are there other subgroups I'm missing that came up with some research and some ideas?
We didn't have other subgroups. I mean, anybody who picked it up. I just put one thing about food waste, just as I threw it in there. Would be good to have. And then read the link, the information you sent about food waste was great. I think we would love to incorporate that in there. That just that's just came about today, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I'll send that out to the group after this meeting, just to give everyone a heads up. The EPA last week generated a food waste, or published their food waste report, and it's quite long, but some good stuff stands out in like the intro and executive summary, mainly focusing on like potentially restaurants, and obviously households is a big one, but the restaurants one, there's some pilot programs out there that might be interesting for Nevada that's going on in like Colorado and somewhere on the East Coast as well. Laura, I'm sorry, you've had your hand raised for a while. Did you need to want to say something?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I was just going to mention, and I apologize for disappearing, but just it's the end of the semester. I was just wondering, and it touches back on how to deal with the construction materials. I have been trying to find a website where they publish like extra materials. Like if a construction site has extra bricks, for example, then they just post the material there, and then someone who needs it, kind of like a Craigslist for construction, will be picking it up. So I think that will be a good idea of reducing the waste for construction. And yeah, so that was what I was going to mention. And I was telling to Lakshmi that we're like doing like small programs like at college. I teach at Nevada State College, which is in Henderson, Nevada, on helping people to reduce the liners or the number of waste receptacles to begin with, to just take small steps to reduce waste, plastic waste, and at the same time create awareness. And I'll be happy to talk about that more later, but I know we're focusing on the most on the upper level objectives, but I just want to bring that up before I forget.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura. We will keep the ideas that you put forward earlier in definitely into the when we get to the strategy and the tactics section. Yeah. And this is a good idea about construction thing. Anybody else? Anything more about the objectives, folks? I think
Esther raised her hand.
No.
The first objective, the A, this would include the discussion idea of transiting to more sustainable packaging. Here, we need to incorporate also B or CD. When we talk about sustainable packaging, it's an innovation. So that means we need to have a roadmap to circular economy. That is the way we empower small businesses to be part of this economy. So for this, for example, I developed the goal is to develop roadmap to circular economy. There are lots of going on. There are 6 items I did, but when we talk about sustainability, sustainable packaging, there is innovation, there is small businesses, startups, learning, and all the stuff should be involved, and so that small businesses and other innovators, they would maybe get some financial support from the government. If you don't include it, they don't get it. Nobody pay attention to them. I'm for innovation. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you. And I know, Astrid, you put quite a lot of that into the other document that we were sharing, right? So we will definitely incorporate these your ideas into that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
the roadmap to circular economy, one of the sustainable material management focus is to be able to harness the lost economy revenue. That is the main thing too. So we cannot abandon that. That's why we can link to that. That's a very good objective that it's written. And then the goal, actually that is the goal. And the objective is the activity. Therefore the A, the B, and C, D, that become an activity, which is objectives. So that we need to distinguish what is the goal and what is the objective as well. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good point. So, okay, perfect. Thanks, Bree. Thanks for doing this on the fly. We're any other items to add on the high-level objectives? Anyone else?
I'll also kind of chime in on item number 7. Maybe it would be worth generalizing it as organic waste so that we can include yard waste with the food waste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty much almost the same amount as the food waste in that Washoe County study. That reminds me. Okay. And so Bree, do you want to make 2 separate? Organic waste, or are we including organic and food and all in under one umbrella?
This might be a silly question, but are there ways to reduce yard waste?
Yeah,
I know there's ways to divert it, but is there a way to reduce it at the source?
That is not a silly question. I think my thought lies around the diversion of it, but this could also potentially point to innovation around landscaping.
and then converting them to mulch and using it right there. Right. Yeah.
Ask a general question on all of these. We have decreased, and I think when Kim was saying it might be diversion too, like would it be worth saying decrease or divert, or does that matter?
So I can ask the organics group if they're going to focus on that bullet point, and if they're not, then we can take it over. We have a chair and co-chair meeting tomorrow, so we can bring that up.
Okay. And I think Astra, you had to raise your hand.
And another thing is, I'm sorry, I go through the ideas because, for example, we said the first one, sustainable packaging, and I read lots of articles, research, and we understood really less. We don't know exactly what is sustainable packaging. The role of public in the business is very important in this matter. So we need to have something how to you said his address knowledge gap. That is a knowledge gap. People, they don't know what it is. And really, in order to be successful in this objective or goal, we need also to have informed public and businesses. So you can use it, as we said, address knowledge gap, data in Nevada and hazardous waste stream. At the same time about sustainable packaging, because we want really the public to demand it, because there is a supply and demand thing. If the public demands sustainable packaging, so-called, that means will be successful, because without the demand, the government, it does not continue to give incentives and money, and it doesn't make sense. So we want to roll the economy sustain by itself instead of, within this context I'm talking about. So we need to have that, create a demand for sustainable packaging by reducing the knowledge gap. So I wrote a synopsis of what I mean by that. Two things. One is people, they don't know what is sustainable best practices, and others that we did a survey with UNR. That is the result. Most of them, they don't know even what's going on in Reno. But the other is research done with other big companies, is people, they don't know what a sustainable product is. So we should learn from that things, because we want to be successful. Whatever the strategy we design, we understood what's going on, and then we can incorporate the education part or other. It's not our here, but we can invite the outreach people to involve in this case in depth. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything is related to each other, so we make sure we cover everything. I mean, I don't mean that we develop for every detail, but we understood all that so that we can pass it to the other group.
Yeah, we definitely have to sort of synergize in different groups, the education here in this case on how to educating the public or the business owners, and then create the demand.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I would like to chime in for a second. This is Tammy here, just speaking as a small business owner rather than, well, also a committee member, a working group member here, but thinking as my business right now, one of the challenges that we have, in addition to education, it's like we know that maybe we should do these things, but we don't have the platform to collaborate. Or how do we, like, we're a small business, so we can't do it all ourselves. We can't wear all the hats, and yet we still want to maybe do textile recapture, or we want to reduce our packaging. And so we need almost a network or a support system, where we can be collaborating with other people that can wear the hat that we can't, so that we can actually, take our business to the next level, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Totally. There is we did put one of those Tammy, to address what you said, put one of the objectives in the other document as well, and sort of like the clearinghouse for the data and like lessons learned from different businesses, and or gains and losses and stuff, so they can, if they share how other smaller businesses can benefit from it. So it's one of the things we put in the list. So perhaps Bree, could we add that also in the objective? Or I don't know if it probably comes under a separate objective by itself, in that sense.
So what you're talking about is something that the education group is working on, is building that clearinghouse. So they're currently working on updating one of their Nevada Recycles website to Sustainable Nevada. And they're going to, like, part of that initiative is making a clearinghouse of what is going on across the state. Also looking at dividing it into audiences. So, you know, educators, residents, businesses, and I forgot like the fourth group. So they're actually working on that one.
I see. Okay.
And
Good to know. Thanks.
to clarify real quickly, when you say they're working on that one, it's more of like a resource website that we could go to and find resources, but not necessarily, would it be like contacts like other businesses or support businesses that could help? Or is it just information?
No, it's my understanding is it's going to be both. So one idea that was proposed in that meeting was, you know, all these different groups or all these different organizations are doing all these things. Let's have one spot, you know, one area where you can go and just find all that information. So whether that's a contact to the organization for help or the actual information. So we're looking at kind of both.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So I think I'm just looking at the objectives page that we put together and make sure that we covered most of it. I think maybe shall I just share this, and that way we can kind of go through this other list and then see how else we can feed into your document from there.
Yep.
Okay. So because there's quite a lot of information there that's probably we'll just add to it. Share. Okay. Window. Man, I'm so bad at this. Okay. Recycling report. Oh, Microsoft. That's why. Okay, here we go. Looking at the wrong thing. So thank you, Astra, for putting all this information together for creating the statement of problem and all this. So this is a working document that most of you have seen and contributed to. So like I said, Astra added a whole bunch of information here that's very useful. I highly recommend if you could go and take a look at it and read through it, that'd be awesome. You know, I think it will be helpful for us. And then through the, Astra, would you say now that in the main objective statements, we captured most of these now? Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. This is something is vague a little bit. We can work together. Always goal and objective. It is confusing. That is have been that thing. Not only us, but many people. So we can work whatever it is written, what is the main goal and the objective. We can rewrite it and categorize it together. So I felt that maybe we need to do that. I review everything but I don't want to spend time alone. That's why I left it as it is.
Yeah.
So if you want, we can work together, we shuffle it, but we categorized the main goal. This is the goal, this is the objective. So we know what is in and what needs to be there. If you want. That is, I think, the best approach to bring a very, very good product.
And Esther, looking at the terms you use, so for what we're using as objective is what you used for goal, and what we used for strategy is what you used for objective. So it looks like we have good structure here. It's just, we just use different terminology.
Yeah, as long as, you know, I'm not competing to anything, you know that. I am always for the best product. So the best product means, for example, when we talk about activities, that is objective. That's it. That is the key. When it is vague, develop a roadmap to circular economy, what do we do? That is a question, how? When anything you say how, that means that is goal. But how is objective. That is the only thing. So it has been done a very good work, but some we can really put it differently, and then having main, like you say, a milestone of big goal, and this is the objective we can do. And then after that, the objective we can add A and a B, a C, a D, lots of things, because activity is so big. But for now, what you need is only a small, you know, this is the objective. The main, they call it the main objective. So A, B, C, D. So just, if I'm wrong, you just keep it that way, no problem. But if we go through the whole work together, as to the group people, we can make it maybe a little bit better. I don't know. Oh, but if you believe that is the best approach, it just, the objective is more activity it had. We do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. But we define concrete step, we develop vision goals. That is activities, which is objective. But it's vague. And then you say that, okay, it's a big broader. And then you say that, okay, well, how do we do it? And that's the goal. If there is a question, how do we do it? That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're on the same. We just use different terminology. So how we
whatever is the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
so
I'm not competing.
No. So yeah, what you wrote for goals is what we were looking for objectives. So yeah, I didn't realize it was going to cause confusion. I'm sorry about that. But putting terminology aside, exactly what you described as a goal is what we were looking for. And actually, I don't think I have seen this document.
It's the same document. It's been revised. You do have a link for it, but I'll share it again with you. Great. So you've seen this further down, all these things that you've seen some of these. Astor added a whole some more information to it. So basically, this is a shared document. So, you know, because I wanted to keep it, you know, open so the other people can contribute. And I figured from this document, we would take the relevant info and then put it into what you create, right? So, and we're kind of getting there, and with your list of objectives there. So that's good. This is, think of it more like this is a working document, right? Draft. So that's what it is. So I'll send out the link again in a little bit. So to everyone, and I think everybody who joined today are on that, you know, in the shared list. So no issues. So going back to this, so asked her, from what Bree's saying now, we are basically when I also describe the objectives and strategies. So we are a little bit ahead of the game in that sense, but this is good. That means that we have a little bit more time for next January timeframe to meet the next milestone, right? So the question is, like you said, now we take this list of objectives and the strategies that we have put together and get all the feedback that with everyone, and then try to streamline it a little bit better. So make it improve it a little bit. What it doesn't have, this document doesn't have, is the list of things that Liz put together for hazardous waste and construction as well. So I wanted to see how shall we do this, because of course there's a problem with making one document having everybody contributing, but it also getting too big and unwieldy and kind of so Liz had a suggestion, and that we actually create separate documents for each subgroup, because we have lots of ideas here. And I think maybe I'll go ahead create that. Right now it's just this big, everything is in here, right? So yeah, is everyone okay with that? And then I'll share. Everybody, people can contribute, but the draft documents, maybe we will do separate subgroups. So
hey Lakshmi, if I might add, yeah, my idea was to keep like the research out of this document that has objectives, strategies, and tactics, and to put our whole group into one that has all the objectives, but keeping the research out. Like, I've got a document that's hazardous waste, that's my background and the data, and how I came to the objectives. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. We should pull that apart a little bit so it's not such a huge unwieldy document. But I don't know, Bree, my idea kind of was to have you and Kayla take the objectives part as you did kind of with the document you had up, and put that all in together for the whole source reduction group, because I assume you're going to have like a master document for each group, right?
Yes. So Kayla and I are working actually on the menu of options. We have been this whole week. So we're going through the groups and pulling their objectives. So yeah, so if you guys have it like in separate documents, just let me know how many are out there and I can pull everything from there.
Yeah.
I think we just have this document and then my hazardous waste one that I sent to you. Construction hasn't been done. I don't think, and Lakshmi edited a little bit on food waste, but I don't think we really have any other documents out there unless somebody has done something on their own that has not been posted.
Mm-hmm. I think we can create separate documents from this. We'll do that. But then the question of, I'm just sharing it right now from my own Google Drive. That I can continue that, or did you want to put them in the draft documents in the end up shared drive, Bree, or do you want to just keep that shared drive for your a little bit more completed documents?
Now you guys can put whatever you want in that shared drive. That's so everybody can have access, go to there. So yeah, feel free to put it there.
Okay, but I don't think the members on that include all the the team members. So
No,
I
I've
don't know if
been,
you have the ability to add them.
it's been a slow process. So anybody that has a Google account, please email me the email address associated with that Google account, and I can add you to the Google Drive. But you need to have a Google account set up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Astrid, please come.
I glanced at the work you have done and other group did and everything. It's a very important information there. The only thing is some is too much detail we don't need now. That is the only thing we can shape it a little bit, categorize it, but the idea is there. So we can shape it a little bit and then to present it to the group or whatever, whoever needs it. So we can go over it, but it's a very good information is inside. So, but it's too detailed.
But we will need a working document / draft anyway. Yeah. So, I don't know. The only thing about the Google account, Bree, that everybody will need to create a Google account. Maybe everybody is not comfortable with it. They want to continue using. So I'll just continue what I'm doing. Just create the document like I did for the subgroups, and then share it with the people rather than using the Google Drive that you guys have.
If you make the Google Doc in the Google Drive, you can share it with somebody that doesn't have a Google account. It's just if they want access to the whole drive, they need a Google account. So if you can still make the actual document in the Google Drive, that will help out. Because that way I can go in there and it makes it easier for me to see what all the groups have.
Yeah.
So you can make it in there. They don't need to have a Google account to access the document. It's just the whole drive they do. So that might be a compromise.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll do that. That works.
Mine is a Google account, by the way. Don't worry. You just send it because it's a grant. So I benefit from that. So.
Oh, okay. You do have a Google account, in other words. Oh, I think you're muted.
My email address is it is a Google account, by the way.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's the good news. So we have the objectives kind of sort of done. Added. Shall we just take the few more minutes that we have and look at the list, the rest of the list we have here, and make sure that we captured it into Bree's list? I know it, so I think reduce the amount of single-use plastic waste, we got that. Well, okay, these are some ideas that was thrown there. I think this this might come under the strategy as well. Sorry, excuse me. There was a couple of other strategies here. I guess you would put it under strategy, Bree, like the government. Where is the one where we were talking about perhaps getting state of Nevada to do the green purchasing strategy? Would you say these are all come under strategies?
Yeah, they're a little more specific, so they would be strategies.
Okay. how about the public events?
That would also probably be a strategy if you can make it a little more specific. So if you look at the strategies you have listed under there, under the reduce waste generated at public events, those you could probably just get rid of the objective and put those strategies under a different objective. Maybe under the circular economy or something like that.
I see. Did that come under circular economy? I wonder.
Tact.
Or single-use plastics. It looks like a lot of that has to do with, single-use plastics. So I would probably put that under reducing,
Okay. Okay.
But, yeah, you guys have a lot done. You pretty much have, it looks like, I remember seeing the beginning of this document. I just haven't read it fully fleshed out like it is now. But you guys are almost at the point where you need to be in February, which is really good. So you guys, you can continue to work on these and restructure them with the subgroups. But I would also suggest hitting on some of the ones that don't have strategies and tactics yet, like the construction group or the construction debris, yard waste. You might have added food waste. I haven't seen that yet. But I'll take another look at that document. But yeah, you guys are good. You guys met your December 15th objectives, and I can finalize what we wrote today during this meeting, take a look at that document, and then send that out to the group just as like a recap for today. And like the next steps are just continuing what you're doing and focusing on those other categories that didn't get so much attention.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so we will, and I will, on my part, after you send that out, retake the list that we already have and put it under your objective categories and then create the subgroup working documents. So I just want to quickly also, so we won't meet for probably up into the middle of January because of the holidays, and also we did pretty good so far as a team. We'll send out a survey for some dates in January, and we'll go from there. Anything else before closing? Anyone? Okay. If nothing else, I think this has been a great start for the End Up initiatives, and I really want to thank you all for the amazing amount of work you have put into this and provided all the details and all the ideas and everything. I thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and like I say, have a happy holidays and enjoy. Merry Christmas.
Happy
You too.
holidays.
Thank you.